Thank you for watching us on YouTube. But did you know that if you're on the go, you can get the full show as a podcast now? You can get our morning breakdown of the most important topics facing our country, news not being covered by the mainstream media, interviews with change-making progressives, and info on what you can actually do about all this. Search for The Damage Report on your favorite podcast app and subscribe so you know when new episodes are ready to go. Obviously, there's the hurricane situation, pretty big news, and various people covering it in different ways. You happen to notice one particular spin on what was going on around the hurricane.
Yeah, there was a video that went viral this week. I don't know, it's created another hashtag on Twitter, but it's a video of a reporter in North Carolina chasing down a group of people coming, it looks like back and forth between a housing project across the street from a dollar store. The doors have been removed and people are running in and out with juice, bottled water, paper towels, things like that. And the issue has been the reporter and how she behaved in the incident. And this is a situation that we've talked about a lot and we've learned from since Hurricane Katrina and the racial implications of how we report on hurricane survivors and who's called a looter and who's called a thief and who's called taking and surviving. And the way this was handled, I think the reporter's getting a lot of criticism, but then she's getting a lot of support as well. She essentially in the video, if I can just describe the video, she is chasing down people coming in and out of this shut down, flooded dollar store and asking them, not asking them questions, but telling them, pointing the microphone in their face and saying, do you know you're looting? Do you know you're stealing? And going back and forth and kind of reporting about that. And you could hear her earpiece is not connected, so you can hear the phone is on speaker. And someone, what it appears back from the station, is telling her to not play police officer.
So tell her to stop doing what she's doing.
Right. I mean,
what do you know?
Well, because it's number one, it's not a safe situation, I think, for anyone. And I wonder, a lot of the questions is, how does this advance the story? And what are the problems with this? And are there better questions to ask when someone is coming in and out of a store? You see children with bottles of water in their hands and ramen noodles and paper towels. Is the issue, and also we don't know that our reporters are supposed to ask questions and tell the story, and we don't know whether someone laid their last $10 on there. We don't know if a lot of these people, obviously they are still there in an area that was you were supposed to leave for your own safety. And so there are so many questions. Why are you still here? Are you out of food? Are you out of drinkable water? Are you okay? What's going on? Are you paying for this? Why are you doing this? And also, a report came in after her piece from the local police department that said that they are not responding because the manager of the dollar store has asked them to stand down. And it was just like a simple, I think, 2-line statement, but the video is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, and when we talked about the initial warnings to evacuate, we talked about the two different types of people who stay.
Right.
Those who just want to weather it and those who don't have the economic ability to leave. That's a story. The exact questions you asked, you could put those to the people who are in that area or worried about the strike of the hurricane and ask, could you leave if you wanted to? What effect on your finances would it have if you had to stay in a hotel for 4 or 5 days? Could you even do that? We know that many people could not. And if you're specifically going outside of a housing project, maybe issues of class and those sorts of things should be a little bit more in your mind rather than just getting footage of people looting. And you ask a person who's leaving a store that you think is looted, do you know that you're looting? Like he's gonna say, you raise really interesting philosophical questions about the law in times of emergency. Let me put this down. It's absolutely ridiculous. We know that there's a racial angle, whether this reporter refuses to admit that or not.
And I think she tweeted and got a lot of flack. And again, like I said, a lot of support, but she tweeted later after the story that her story had led to 5 arrests and she started her statement with "so scary." And then the question is, what is scary? And I think that's a valid question. If a reporter says this was a scary situation, people appeared to be taking paper towels and juice and water and ramen noodles and food out of a dollar store, what is scary?
The scary thing is the threat of the hurricane, but I'm not sure that that's what she means.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know for sure. We don't know.
It's not a story that I think people are going to be talking about it for a while. It's been going in both directions.
You see it every time. You see a story like that about looting every time. You see the same photo of a shark on a highway every time. And then now you also see the same photo of Anderson Cooper chest deep in water being attributed to every hurricane as if that's CNN's coverage of the hurricane. There was a HUD official who said that this is proof that CNN is lying because she put photos of him, Hurricane Ike, I think it was, next to a photo of someone on a non-wet ground in hurricane, in this one, in Florence, and said, oh, this is proof of CNN is fake news. You're fake news, you just lied. Anyway, listen, we don't learn,
this is not me saying I think stealing is okay. This is me saying, I totally understand what it looks like, but there are questions that should be asked. And as a reporter, I think there are responsible questions. And these are not people taking flat screens and laptops out of Best Buy, out of a busted down Best Buy. These are a lot of children taking juice and water and noodles and paper towels. And there are questions why. And again, we don't know if someone left, their last cash on the, we don't know. We don't know why the manager of the store said stand down. We don't know any of this.
Yeah, and also you see this sort of coverage. So after a hurricane, you will see the poor person rushing in to get paper towels. But how often do you see a person going into the office of a CEO of a company that's moved into an area that's just experienced a hurricane to buy up things, to take control of like power generation and things like that, disaster capitalism? We're going to be talking with Naomi Klein a little bit later on this week. That sort of story, not so common. Do you know that you're looting? Do you know that you're stealing? They don't usually ask that of CEOs.
And listen, we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible. We saw what happened, and a lot of members of the media had to change the way they reported on people after hurricanes. We saw pictures, plenty of pictures from Hurricane Katrina, and oftentimes when it was a black person with a bag in their hand, they were looting or stealing. And if it was a person who was not a person of color, it would be they were taking.
They were surviving.
They were surviving. And people have to be treated fairly, and we have to be honest about how we report on people of color.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.